Are you up for drilling the guitar?
No. I don't want to destroy it. We let the professional handle it. Hey everyone, welcome back to First Impressions. My name is Hrishi. I'm here at the Procraft Experience Center, and once again, I will be your host for the day. Last time we checked out Magna electric guitars, but this time we have a whole new range of guitars which we're going to look at called HEX guitars. They have a huge range. They have acoustics, they have electrics, they have nylons, so there's a lot to cover, and I'm really looking forward to trying out some of these guitars and giving you my first impressions. So HEX is a relatively new brand. They launched in 2015. They're a Korean brand, but they have manufacturing in Indonesia. And like I mentioned, they have a wide range of guitars. They have acoustics, electrics, nylons, and even ukuleles. Today, we're going to be looking at some of the Introductory series acoustic and nylon guitars. But not only that, we're also going to be doing something pretty cool. Since the Introductory series guitars don't have inbuilt pickups, we're going to be doing a live pickup installation for two guitars. We're going to be installing two pickups, in fact. And I've never seen a pickup installation done before, so I'm pretty excited, and these guys at Procraft India are going to walk me through it and show me how it's done, so I'm looking forward to it. Wow, first impression right off the bat is that it's got a really bright and present sound. It's not subdued, it's got this kind of sound that really rings out. You strum a chord and you can hear the crispness of each note. Which is a very good quality for a lot of people. A lot of people really prefer that. And for certain styles of music, it really works, especially if you like strumming, if you like big open strumming sounds, it's really good for that kind of sound. I really enjoyed playing it. This is the first time I'm playing it. And it feels good, it feels smooth. And it really doesn't feel like a completely entry-level guitar, just because of how smooth the fretboard kind of is. Really impressed. An absolute first impression, honest first impression, because it's the first time I'm picking up this guitar. So yeah. So the guitar I'm holding right now is the HEX F70M BT. M stands for matte and BT stands for black, but we've got a natural color as well, which we'll also look at. This has got an A-grade agathis top and an A-grade African sapele back and sides. The neck is a natto neck, which interestingly is a neck made from a single block of wood rather than it being laminated or multiply, which actually results in increased stability, which is good for places like Mumbai where humidity causes warping and really causes problems with guitar action and whatnot. It's good to have a stable neck. And the fingerboard is torrified merbau. Torrification is also interesting because it's a process of artificially aging the wood. You know how we all like a guitar that's aged 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Guitars always sound better when they're aged. Torrefication removes any contaminants, oils, or anything that can dampen a sound, and it ages the wood to make it sound like it's got a slightly older feel, which is a good thing. The fingerboard is torrefied merbau. We've got regular white dot inlays, a rosewood bridge, a cool logo here on the headstock. If you look at the tuning pegs here, we've got chrome die-cast tuning pegs. It's pretty good. You can see that the gears are covered at the back, which results in increased stability once again. We've got a double action truss rod and 20 frets on this guitar. So this is the F70M BT, which is the black option, but we've also got the F70M, which is the exact same guitar, but in a natural finish. As you can see, everything is exactly the same. It's just if you prefer a wood finish or a natural finish. Then it's your preference. You get the same guitar, but in the color of your choice. So I think the guitar's strengths lie in the brightness and presence of sound. Stuff like open strumming, and a lot of this really ringing, picking stuff, like because as you can hear, the sound of the guitar is very bright, it's very present, and if that's the kind of sound you're looking for, then this really is the right guitar for you. It's a good entry-level guitar for beginners who are just starting out, or even for singer-songwriters who want a guitar to strum along with and want something nice and present and loud that can really complement their voice. This has that kind of open sound. It will work great on open tunings if you want to tune to dad-gad or any kind of open tuning where you want to do a lot of nice big open strumming. That's also a really good use case for one of these guitars. Both guitars are very similar. I think that this one maybe has a tad bit more bass. A tad bit warmer than the other guitars. Very slight, very minor, but it maybe doesn't ring out as much as the other guitars, but it's got a warmer sound for some of that softer playing, if that's what you prefer. I think both guitars are very similar though. They're in the same price range if I'm not mistaken, and they sound very similar, but maybe depending on your preference for if you want something brighter versus if you want something warmer, you might want to consider either one of these options. These are really good entry-level beginner guitars. If you're looking to buy your first guitar, it's definitely something you should consider. And I see a lot of beginners going onto Amazon and buying super cheap guitars for like, 2,000, 3,000 rupees, which seems very appealing because it's a cheap option and a cheap way to start your way into learning guitar. But those guitars, not to take any names or any brand names or whatever, but those guitars aren't a good way to start your guitar process. If you're really passionate and really are serious about wanting to learn guitar, at least get something of decent quality or of a decent standard, even if it's an entry-level model, that'll help you learn properly. Because you need a good guitar to be able to strum well, to be able to finger the frets properly. On a cheap guitar, on a very basic guitar, as a beginner, one of the most difficult things is to be able to play cleanly and to be able to place your fingers on the frets and be able to actually strum a chord. And this can be actually quite difficult on a cheaper guitar, which will just hinder your learning process and make you give up sooner. So I think it's really worth looking into guitars like these as a good base, a good solid base as an acoustic guitar to at least get started. So the guitar I'm holding here is the HEX F72M. The others were the F70. This is the F72. As I said, both guitars are very similar. Specs wise, they're almost completely the same. The only difference is that this has an A-grade African sapele top, back and sides, while in the F70 we had an A-grade agathis top with an African sapele back and sides. I think apart from that, everything is pretty much the same. The sound is also very similar, like I mentioned, but perhaps having a different wood for the top is resulting in a slightly warmer sound, at least to my ears, slightly warmer. We hope that you can hear it on video, but if you come and try it out, then for sure I think you will be able to hear the slight difference in tone. But it's a matter of taste, it's a matter of preference. I don't think there's one is better than the other. It's just what you sort of prefer in terms of sound. Sorry, I was just jamming there. This feels really good. This doesn't feel like an entry-level nylon at all. I love how it feels. I love how it sounds. It's super warm. And it's extremely easy to play. Normally nylons are hard to play because the action is usually slightly higher on a nylon. And for some reason, at least for me, it's harder for me to sort of play that faster stuff. But here, like, I'm loving it. Yeah, I really like this nylon guitar. It feels really good. It's nice and light. Strings feel nice. The sound is extremely warm. It's honestly the first time I'm playing it and I really like it. So the guitar I have in my hand right now is the Pollen series C100M model. Let's go through some of the specs. It's got an A-grade Sitka spruce top, A-grade African sapele back and sides. The neck is Indonesian mahogany. It's got a rosewood fingerboard, standard white dot inlays. The tuning pegs are Open Gear Hex Special. They look really cool. And we've got, of course, a rosewood bridge as well as a rosewood fingerboard, as we mentioned. The guitar also looks very nice. It's got a nice bright natural finish and a super pretty design around the sound hole. All in all, the guitar I think looks great and feels great. If you're new to nylon guitar, you're new to classical guitar, you're looking for this kind of sound, then it's absolutely something that you should consider. Honestly, my first impression was I was very impressed, very happy with the way it sounds and the way it feels. I recently had a spree where I was checking out all sorts of nylon guitars, and so I've tried out everything, and this is the first time I'm trying out the Hexa one, and I really like the sound and the feel of this one. If this is something you're looking for, then absolutely worth considering. So let's move on to pickup installation. Today we're going to be installing two pickups, the double B1G and the Kepma K10 pickups. When I say we are going to be installing it, I'm not going to be installing it, I don't know how to, but the good guys here at Procraft are going to be showing me how it's done. I've never seen it before, so I'm looking forward to it. Let's do it. Yeah, so we're installing a K10 pickup, which is a collaboration between Double and Kepma. It's a pretty cool pickup. It's transacoustic, so you don't need to connect it to the amp. You get inbuilt effects like chorus, reverb, and delay. It also has a Bluetooth feature, which is really cool. You can play backing tracks and whatnot. It's got a chargeable battery, a 2000 mAh battery. So yeah, this is what we're installing today on this HEX guitar. This is the HEX F72. So as you can see, the pickup has 6 knobs. I mean, it's got 4 knobs plus an on-off button plus a charging socket. And for that, we've taken measurements. This is the measurements. As you can see, there are 6 small holes here. And the 6 small holes are going to be our measurements for drilling. So we're going to drill 6 holes into the guitar so that the pickup can come from underneath and pop out of the body. Therefore, we can adjust our knobs. And so, we can get started with drilling. Like I mentioned, we're just drilling 6 holes, do aur baki hai, for the 6 knobs on the pickup. My job here is just to hold the guitar. Next, Naveen is going to install the double B1G pickup. This is simpler. We just need one hole over here at the back, a piezo over here, and then the pickup goes in into sound. So as you've just seen, we've installed 2 pickups, the double B1G and the Kepma K10. But at the Procraft Center here, there are tons of pickups across brands, for guitars, for ukuleles. So it's really a good option to consider in case you're a beginner, you're trying out, you're considering buying your first guitar, but you're not sure if you want to get a semi-acoustic yet, or you might not have the budget to get a semi-acoustic. You can always get a standard acoustic guitar, and then at any point in the future upgrade. You can buy a pickup from the Procraft site, and the great thing is they'll install it and give it to you, just like we saw in the video. And so it's definitely something you can consider. On this guitar, we've put in the Kepma K10s, and so I'm really looking forward to checking out how it sounds. So finally, let's have a look at the accessories that come with the guitar. We start with one nice padded case to keep your guitar secure. And you get two accessories. One is a pick guard, which is super useful to stop scratches from developing on your guitar while picking. And also an Allen key if you ever need to adjust your truss rod. However, if you're a beginner, I advise that you don't try to do this yourself and you go to your nearest professional. And that's about it. My favorite pick out of all three guitars that we looked at today is probably going to have to be the Pollen nylon guitar. Not that the acoustics weren't great, and they're not directly comparable because one is a nylon and one is an acoustic. But I think the nylon hex guitar definitely caught me by surprise in terms of how good it was for the price range. Between the acoustics, I think maybe the F72 is my preference, but it's just a matter of taste. I like the slightly warmer sound. Having said that, the difference is minute, and if you prefer a brighter sound, you might want to look at the F70. All in all, these guitars are super good. If you're a beginner, it's a good introductory series guitar. And if you're a beginner and later on you get better and you practice and you want to upgrade, you can always install pickups, convert it into a semi-acoustic guitar. You always have that option in the future as well. So yeah, that sort of wraps up my thoughts and first impressions.